What's up, y'all? It's Jeff Cobb, and you're listening to Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Social Suplex Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Listener discretion is advised at all times.
And thank you once again for downloading and listening to another episode of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. My name is Clive and I'm joined by my cohort, Ricky. Hello Ricky, how are you this evening?
Good evening, I'm doing semi-okay. Yourself?
I'm the other half of semi-okay, where
yep.
I'm starting to get better from a cold, more so a sort of chesty cough cold, and you are starting to come down with something yourself.
Yep, I am. It's just that time of the year.
So between us, this will be 50% our usual standard.
And our usual standard isn't very good, so...
So apologies in advance to all our listeners in Listenerland. Tonight we're going to do something a wee bit different. There is a bit of a, between the pair of us, close to burnout when it comes to wrestling in general. So close, aye. Some are closer than others, but over Christmas and New Year we've got a couple of canned episodes still to get one of the canned episodes sorted, but we won't be touching on the content in those couple of days. Boxing Day or 26th of December and January the 2nd. There'll be some special episodes for you to tune into. Next week will be a TLC preview. The week after that will be a TLC review. And that's all the current content I can kind of talk about right now. Because I'm just done. And I know that you are yourself. So tonight what we'll do is have a wee bit of fun talking about predictions for 2019 under everything under the WWE umbrella, whether it's the main roster, 205, NXTs, business stuff. We'll hit out with what predictions we have and discuss whether they're good or bad. But before that, we will discuss our big night out on the town on Sunday night there. The I don't even know how to spell it.
SSE.
The SSE Hydro, one of Glasgow's newest arenas, hosted ICW's Fear and Loathing 11. Fear and Loathing 11, their big show of the year, their WrestleMania, if you will. We went to a show together before, the Shug's House Party in the summer. In comparison, did you still enjoy yourself on Sunday night there?
So first things first, to address your earlier comment, I'm not close to burnout. I am literally on the edge of the cliff. So yeah, this few week break that we're probably going to have can't come quick enough. And it's taken all my willpower not to jump out head first out of my bedroom window at the moment.
Can I just say, it's not a case of sick of the wrestling as such. It's just the creative isn't that great, and there's just so much nonsense on social media at the moment that whenever
it's everything. You know, just the wrestling in general, storyline, the fan absolute bullshit. Just it's just it's everything. It's everything, but. Yeah. Anyway.
So we hate everything.
We really do. I don't even know why we're doing the podcast tonight. Sunday was quite good. Shug's house party was more of a intimate setting. Yeah. We were right up close to the ring. Obviously, to the point where there was a couple of run-ins and the wrestlers ran past us, and at one point they were brawling through the crowd and brawled past us as well. You were almost floored that evening as well when someone made a run-in.
That's right.
Yeah, both shows were good. Sunday, there was some good moments at the same time. There were some moments that I didn't really care for, or I thought it wasn't that great, if I'm honest. Personal highlight was seeing British Strong Style. Trent Seven was in rare form.
Oh, he was on fire with the humour.
He looked like he really enjoyed himself. It was great to see Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. The main event I thought was quite decent as well.
Yep. New champion in Lionheart.
Yep. The crowd popped big time when that 1, 2, 3 happened.
See,
the TLC match I was quite disappointed in. But yeah, I thought overall it was a good fun show to be at.
What was quite good and bad, so to speak, about the main event, Lionheart and Jackie Polo, was this rivalry started online between each other, and there is quite a bit of reality based on their animosity towards each other, and there's quite a strong contingent in the crowd of Jackie Polo fans, so kayfabe was well and truly alive that night, because Lionheart's a very divisive character, as is Jackie Polo, and there was people behind us that were just shouting for Jackie Polo the whole time. At one point, being quite disrespectful to one or two women in the disabled section in front of us, which was just a bit shit, to be fair. No need for that at all.
Yep.
Especially when this woman, 80, 90 years old, and she knew a lot of the wrestlers' names. So shout out to that lady.
We dubbed her the granny of ICW.
Aye.
They were just absolute idiots. Absolute idiots. She just kind of wanted to turn around and just lay them out. Fucking morons. But no, like I say, overall, I felt it was a good show. And I'm going to say it now. Don't really care how it's perceived. We said it live at the show, and I suppose in a sense it might be unfair to them, but at the same time it's not, in my opinion. I turn around to you and says you can see just the absolute difference in greatness and level of in-ring ability between British Strong Style and BT Gunn and Wolfgang. I felt that was so evident. It was glaring. Those two guys look like complete novices in comparison to British Strong Style. Like I say, it was an absolute pleasure to see them live. But yeah, not a fan of BT Gunn or Wolfgang. Didn't care less that the British Strong Style were quote unquote the heels.
See, the thing about that is, I do agree, not as strongly as you, on the points about the WWE influence guys being a lot sharper than Wolfgang and BT Gunn, because Noam Dar was on the good guy side, and you could still say, I know you're not a fan of him and him as a person, but he's a lot better, basically. And there was a point where BT Gunn did a super kick to two kneeling heads, and it was just so weak and almost invisible. We had a good view of that, and it was just quite, I wouldn't say disappointing.
And we picked up on that live as well, but turned around and we were kind of like, what the hell was that? But yeah, continue.
And what I found interesting was there's been a lot of bad heat towards the NXT UK guys because of them on Twitter, other social media places, defending what NXT UK's business model going forward. So, understandably and evidently, British Strong Style were booed as they came out, and they were booed throughout the match, and Wolfgang cut a promo in the ICW Fight Club episode before, one or two episodes before the actual Fear and Loathing event, talking about how their ICW to the death. It's a bit strange considering they took Noam Dar onto their side, but anyway. And see, once British Strong Style lost the match, so the faces went home happy, the crowd went home happy with that one, but they got British Strong Style got a standing ovation at the end of the match before they went up back the aisle. So
a big.
Trent Seven was doing the ICW chant, so there's not that much ill will towards him, certainly amongst the ICW crowd anyway.
No, and I'm trying to find, here we go, right, so to touch on what you said about the NXT UK thing, so WOS wrestler Justin, is it Sysum?
Oh yes, I
tweeted out, put a long-winded paragraph out, a long-winded, almost a wee essay. Bloody blah, 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 blah. Kind of finished it off with, I'd sooner die on my sword in defeat than watch what makes our industry so free, diverse and inclusive for both wrestlers and fans alike get eroded away as part of a corporate strategy. Corporate strategy was in quotation marks, to get a bigger share price and global market position. That someone ought to tell this guy that as a business, the whole idea of a business is to expand as much as you can and make as much money as you can, and ultimately be the dominant force within that industry.
Mm-hmm.
So Vince McMahon owes us in the territories and industry, indies, etc., absolutely fucking nothing. But I want to say, which really kind of confused me, and it was like, do you not see the flaw in your argument? Here we go. In the second paragraph, he turns around and says, blah, 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 blah. But that WWE, NXT, UK talent have apparently been signed to new contracts, allegedly. Someone ought to explain to this guy that apparently and allegedly aren't like watertight. Those kind of words leave room for doubt. So we touched on it before, like everyone jumping on this train and thinking it's true just because one or two people might report it. It's like, just let the fucking thing play out. And like we said before, ain't no one holding a gun to anyone's head to sign these contracts.
You've said it. I mean, look at there's no need. They don't have to sign for it. Look at the matches that are going to be happening in RevPro over December and January. You've got Neville versus Zack Sabre Jr., Neville versus Will Ospreay. I mean, I know that's only 3 people, but I can think of a few more that would make sure that the British wrestling scene still thrives. A couple of points about that guy, Justin Sysum, whatever his name is. I wonder what programme he watched that inspired him to become a wrestler.
Yeah. And like I says, just because you feel like I'm not signing for this corporate industry or whatever you want to call them, don't be acting like you're some kind of martyr and we should be applauding you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, motherfuckers have got bills and houses and families to look after. Let them do what the fuck they want. End of the day, all that really matters is when you have a career, and a lot of people's mindset is to make as much money as you can possibly make. And when it comes to people who are in sports or in this kind of industry, make as much money as you can, as quickly as you can.
Uh-huh.
Because at the end of the day, like we say, one injury or anything can derail your career or kill you. So, I don't know, a lot of people are on their high horse, and we're back to that whole high horse thing that we spoke about a couple of months ago.
You said you talked about apparently and allegedly there. I think there is truth to this because, I mean, the likes of Pete Dunne has defended what's been going on Twitter on his own account.
But he's also continually says, don't always believe what you're reading on the internet.
That's true. What I'm not sure I do believe is them saying that WWE have the right to exercise an all-out buyout of the likes of ICW, Progress and WXW. Is it?
Why not?
What, you think I don't believe that? Why are you asking why I don't believe that?
Sorry, did you say you do believe it?
No, I'm not sure if... Why would they want to do that?
Because they obviously want the talent that's there.
Right.
If they can't get those specific talents, then they'll buy those companies and in effect buy their contracts.
Right, that's fair enough. Okay.
It wouldn't bother me. It doesn't bother me one bit if WWE decide to go buy Impact and Ring of Honor, or New Japan decide to buy ICW, Progress, Evolve, etc., etc., etc. I couldn't care less which company buys which other company. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. Like I says, because A, no one's forcing these people to sell up, and B, no one's forcing wrestlers to sign. And if they do sign, it's not because they've been forced, it's because they've willingly done it.
And from a selfish point of view, you and I both primarily watch WWE.
Exactly. And even at that, I'm fucking struggling to watch WWE.
Our new best friend, Ashton Smith of NXT UK fame, had put out a couple of hours ago. I wonder why footballers or soccer players, for our brethren across the pond, can't play for their Sunday League teams anymore once they sign for a professional club. Got a point.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ashton Smith, you'd mentioned that you weren't a fan of the TLC match on Sunday night. That was a 6-team TLC, basically a kind of money in the bank kind of stipulation where the winners could cash in and basically cash in for a tag title shot whenever they wanted. Ashton Smith climbed the ladder and successfully took the briefcase down, along with Rampage Brown. And I have to say I was quite gutted, probably kayfabe wise, because I just feel like the Kings of Catch, Lewis, Girvan and Aspen Faith, have deserved it for the work they've put in over the last few years. But Lewis Girvan, as you say, the match kind of ended suddenly, and there were a couple of quite brutal spots in the match. Maybe because we were far away from the action, we didn't see the things that happened out on the floor, but it just seemed to end quite quickly. Having said that about the Ashton Smith and Rampage Brown, they did go on to take the tag titles. They cashed in against Jack Jester and Sha Samuels, Sha Samuels is in World of Sport and Rev Pro as well. They've been good, but it's kind of come full circle. There's a cynic in me that thinks there's quite a heavy NXT UK contingent that won on Sunday night, but that's probably just to get more eyes on them as individuals and as a company. So overall I was quite happy with how that went. Ashton Smith's been back and forth with us a couple of times on Twitter, so he's our new best mate. So I'll support him in his career for the foreseeable.
Yeah, I really didn't like that match at all.
Which is a shame.
I think I expected so much from it, and to be honest, it was just too much of a clusterfuck. And even at that, there was one or two spots. The tombstone from the apron to the outside table was brutal. The Briscoes hit an absolute beautiful move, but they were hated. The crowd did not like their homophobic piece of shits. And then, who was the team now? I can't remember, but they came out and their logo was in the LGBT colours.
Yes, the rainbow colours. That was Kings of Catch.
Yep. So
that was a nice wee middle finger
cool.
there.
Because there's like
Jimmy Havoc.
Jimmy Havoc done nothing as well.
Haskins, I know it's beefing up the numbers, but they didn't really need to be there because all that Havoc did was get some paper out and give somebody some paper cuts.
That was it.
And Haskins did some harsh knees, and that was it. There was not much point in them being there.
Like we said, there was just far too many people in the match.
Too many. I think over the course of the night as well, it seemed it was quite heel heavy. There was 8 or 9 matches, and a lot of the heels won their matches. So Joe Coffey defeated his brother to become the 0G champ. James Storm, with the help of referee Finesser of the Year 2017, Jeff Jarrett.
And 18.
And 18. What, finessing his way into the semi-main event of ICW.
Takes his fucking top off and shows off his dad bod.
Fair enough, he's probably in his 50s, but we didn't need to see that. And it just reminds me that it was quite fun seeing him at Shugs in summer, but saw him tonight and Sunday night. I thought, oh, no wonder I didn't like you in the late 90s. You were just an arse, and you still are. And they screwed over Grado, won that one. Viper, internationally renowned name, she lost her ICW Women's title in a Queen of Insanity death match versus Kaylee Ray, so that was another heel victory. Obviously the Ashton Smith, Rampage Brown. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what other heel victories there were.
Thingy beat Joe Henry beat Mikey Whiplash.
I mean that was quite a decent match. I quite enjoyed the story. There was a quite shenanigan heavy, and Mark Dallas came down. Mark Dallas has adopted this heel authority stable gimmick. He's got a few guys.
Mark fucking Dallas had a MAGA hat on.
Disgraceful. And he also voted no in the Scottish referendum.
But that's worse than wearing a MAGA hat, just so you all know.
So super heel heat for Mark Dallas, and there'll be a lot of people who are familiar with the name. I know some of the names we've mentioned aren't as well known as others, but you'll know Joe Hendry. So things are looking up for him through quite a bit of 2018. TNA World of Sport, so he's making a name for himself. He came down in his Commonwealth Games attire. I don't know why he did that, because he came last in that competition, so it's a bit stupid.
And I actually turned round to you mid-match, and I says to you, I just don't think, I can't remember the exact words, but I basically told you I wasn't impressed with Joe Henry at all. Well, and I kind of felt like I ate my words a little bit towards the end of the match, because I was really gripped by it, and do you know what? I think I sort of jumped to conclusion there. I was really fond of how he started the match with his sort of like amateur wrestling takedowns. So as the match went on, I started to find myself getting more and more involved in it, and like I said, I thought it was a real good match. Maybe the match of the night for me.
I know what you're saying about Joe Hendry. Something wasn't clicking for you. He's not the best wrestler at all. Right? There are a lot of really good wrestlers in UK. He's up there, but I think it's because he has the whole package. He's got a very clear, audible voice, which translates well for the American audience. He's willing to poke fun at himself. He's creative with he sings in his own entrance music. Just comes across as very professional and willing to do the job. So I think that's why he's doing well for himself. It's not just that he's a competent wrestler, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So onwards and upwards for Joe Hendry. All in all, good night. Not as good as Shug's house party.
We had the Aaron Echo match as well.
Yes, our boy Aaron Echo defeated Kenny Williams. That was nice to see.
It was a good match.
Kenny Williams is good. He's doing some funny stuff with I'm Your Jordan on NXT UK as a tag team, so it's one of those ones where they're a heel in one promotion and a face in the other. It works out sometimes, and as much as I enjoy Kenny Williams as a wrestler, he's a very good cruiserweight style. He's just a bit of a dick. He just comes across as a dick. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. No, overall, I think I probably did enjoy Shug's House a little bit more.
That was just chaos. That was good chaos.
But like I say, this event, it was still a real good event, I thought. Now, it wasn't anything that blew me away in a sense, but I just thought there was a lot of solid wrestling going on. Couple of real good spots, couple of good feel-good moments as well. The finish to the women's match, Viper tapped out after having like barbed wire kind of like not so much wrapped but like used to put round her mouth and is it in a submission, and then she dumped out which looked like a bin load of tacks. The barbed wire on the table looked quite flimsy, but it's just nitpicking and stuff like that.
Aye, that is quite nitpicky, Ricky.
It was to be honest, it was a real good match. I didn't surprised that she won.
I had a feeling it would happen because Viper's been the champion since February time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, overall it was a fun night out, to be honest.
I'd posted in the ICW's Facebook group just back from the Hydro, enjoyed my night, and it was quite a divisive, differing opinions. Just a lot of people were saying what matches did you see that were good and stuff like that. So, I'm not here saying that I saw wrestling at classic matches or anything. I just thought overall there were some good things, some things I didn't like. I thought overall it was a fun show to be at, but I'm not saying it was filled with great wrestling and great matches. It was just, like I said, I thought it was a good night. I thought it was a good night out. We'll finish with one of the highlights, which was a sort of promo package at the start of the night where it was talking about when they first got to the Hydro 2 years ago and how that was the biggest attendance for a British independent wrestling event in 30 years. There was a few empty seats.
That promo was excellent.
It was very well done. quite a few empty seats at the Hydro this night. Obviously, the top was shut off as well, but the attendances are down wherever you go these days. It's just that's like one of these things that happens, so I'm not worried about it at all. It's still quite a feat to get a good few thousand indie wrestling fans in the same arena in Scotland, no less. So shall we finish putting our home product over and get on to some WWE predictions?
Yeah, like I say, overall, good enough show, good night out, had a good time. I'm sure we'll end up going back to another ICW show at some point. So yeah, now it's just kind of looking forward to NXT UK TakeOver for myself.
You're fed up with wrestling?
Yeah, but at that point, I'm kind of going to be refreshed after a little break, and the fact that it's my first ever NXT event I'm going to. So, and if it's the first ever NXT UK takeover, so I'm looking forward to that. The only thing I'm not going to be looking forward to is the constant questions from my wife. What's happening? What's going on here? Who's this? What's this? Oh, look at that guy's body.
There'll be some Scottish wankers chants going on, probably.
No, fuck English. I'm joking.
Right, 2019, wild predictions. I said wild because we need a wee pick-me-up, don't we? So we don't need to say, yes, I think such and such will be the European champion for so many days. Some crazy stuff that you think, wow, that's a bit random. You said
I'll start off.
You start off because you've got loads.
I don't really have loads, but so first of all, I predicted this back in 2017, and I'm just going to say it again. The women will main event WrestleMania. That's not a wild prediction. I'm just putting it out there that I said that I predicted this 18 months ago.
You predicted it long before that.
Did I?
Back when we used to get the train back home from work together.
Oh, that was a good 2 and a bit years ago. Right, so here we go. The winner of a 2019 men's Royal Rumble is not on the current WWE roster at this moment.
All right.
Now, I don't have any kind of basis for this. I'm not implying it could be Cody or Omega or anyone. I'm just kind of throwing it out there.
Would you care to elaborate?
I mean, if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Kenny Omega, isn't it?
Well,
whatever happens with this all elite wrestling, not sure, but I just thought I'd throw it out.
That's not what the AEW stands for. Remember, it's Aid in English Wrestling.
Oh, that's true.
I can't. I've not at any stage over the last several months thought that any of the elite guys will be coming to WWE, and I think with this all elite wrestling thing that's coming about, I'm quite safe, and I think I'm safe in my non-prediction of that one.
Yeah, I'd probably agree, but I think out of them all, I think Omega's the one. If you had to say one will come back, will go to WWE, who would it be? I think Omega's probably the safe bet. Well, not a safe bet, but the one I'd probably pick. But like I say, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just kind of throwing it out there.
I just don't agree at all.
No, like I said, I'm not very convinced in it, but anyway, but
oh, God.
You wanted some wild predictions.
Okay, that's fair enough. Right, what about someone like an NXT call-up?
Are you asking me?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's only us two on.
Well, I mean, I thought you were going to elaborate because I thought you were going to give me one of yours, but I guess there isn't an NXT call-up that I would imagine that would be wild, because we all know it's going to happen at some point. Yeah, there's not one that would completely shock me.
To win the Rumble?
Oh, sorry, to win the Rumble? No, that's not going to happen. The only one that could possibly do it would be Aleister Black.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
It's the only one I can think of that's not got much going on in NXT right now.
I'm sure you're probably going to get what you done last time. A couple of people from NXT appearing at the Rumble.
Uh-huh.
Or in the Rumble. What was it last year? We had Adam Cole. Who else did we have again? Did we not have Almas?
Almas, yep.
So yeah, I'm sure we'll get one or two, but that's it. If anyone, it'll be Aleister Black, but even at that, nah.
We'll move on to one of mine then.
Yep.
I predict that in 2019, I've had a look in my Magic 8 Ball. The Fox deal will see SmackDown move to 3 hours, and 205 Live will be disbanded and merged with the SmackDown roster.
Say that again?
So 205 Live will cease as a brand, as a product, and the Cruiserweight wrestlers and the division and the title will merge with SmackDown, and SmackDown will become a 3-hour show on Fox TV in October 2019.
So how are you going to break that down? Are you saying it's kind of like the first 2 hours will be SmackDown and the final hour will be 205, or is it all just going to kind of be like submerged all into 3 hours and there's no real structure? It's just, you know.
I don't know. I think they'll have a cruiserweight division match. Like, they'll start slowly merging them, so you'll get the likes of Drew Gulak versus AJ Styles or something. But it's not going to be set like WCW Nitro days where you had the cruisers do the first hour and then the last 2 hours is the rest of it. I think it would just be merged. I think we're seeing that already. Although the way things are going, you would think it would be happening on Raw rather than SmackDown. Maybe that is actually the plan, that SmackDown's going to get a few more of the bigger names for Fox, and the cruisers will sort of show up Raw, because, I mean, look at Lucha House Party, Jake Maverick, Leo Rush. They're getting like prominent spots. They're getting a lot of TV time on the show. You've had two pay-per-views over the last few months where the Cruiserweight title has been defended on the main card. So while the 205 mark in me would like to think the 205 Live is getting stronger, they're still not doing much with regards to 205 Live. The Twitter feed's abysmal. I've called them out in that before. If they pay me, I'll run it if they want. The marketing's not good. I mean, NXT UK apparently has already surpassed it for weekly viewership. Again, I don't know how someone can get a hold of those numbers. But if that's the case, and that to me just says preferential treatment, that's a Triple H's baby. Do you know?
I'm not sure if I agree with that, but
well, maybe that's another conversation for another day.
The only reason I would say that I wouldn't is because NXT UK is new, fresh, and we're all so excited about it. That's my only thing. So if in 6 months' time they're still getting more, then we can kind of have that conversation. I just feel like because it's still new and fresh, and it suits us for the time that we watch it, you know.
Even though we never watch it live.
Yeah, but like I say, it's because we kind of record at times because there's been a lot of double headers these last few weeks.
We should do a watch along one night.
We should. There'll be a lot of dead air and a lot of silence, right enough.
What? And compared to what?
Just in general, because you'll try and fill up those moments of silence for your shitty jokes.
Shut up, son.
Right, but anyway, yeah, I could see it happening. It wouldn't completely surprise me. It's either that or they move it to Full Sail. One or the other. I could see it happening, to be honest. They're moving it to Raw or SmackDown.
Cool. Your turn.
So this one isn't wild. I think this is actually going to happen. The Undertaker will finally retire in 2019.
I've got one word for that. One word. It's about bloody time.
That's cool. Someone got to teach you your numbers.
That's true.
Right, so I'm just throwing it out, but my actual one is Pete Dunne will be NXT champion in 2019.
Ooh. Very interesting pick.
Is it likely? Maybe not.
It's one of those, is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No.
Yep. It's more unlikely than it is likely. And like I said, if it's going to happen, it won't happen until, like the back end of 2019. Because there's kind of a pecking order in a sense. Like, you'd imagine Matt Riddle's going to get it sooner rather than later. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Adam Cole or anyone like that kind of got into the title scene, or even Dream. But yeah, Pete Dunne to win an NXT title in 2019.
I like that idea, where Pete Dunne marks, obviously.
Yep.
And he's pretty prominent in NXT, gets a lot of airtime these days, especially because he's been interlaced with Adam Cole, Undisputed Era, Ricochet. So that's a good shout. I like that one. I will take that one further and say, this is a bit wild, next year's War Games will be the version 2.0 of the War for Independence. It will be NXT UK versus NXT Florida in a War Games match.
NXT UK versus NXT Florida.
And I think.
So, what are you implying? Are you implying it's going to be me and you versus Rich, James, Jeremy, and Josh?
No.
Right, okay.
Would you go somewhere with that?
Well, the fact that we're UK and they're from Florida, anyway.
Oh, right.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, sorry guys, slow on the uptake there. No, I mean, think about it. That's... it's a chance to rewrite. I like the invasion angle when they did it in 2001, but it's a chance to have another stab at it again.
Well, a lot of people feel like something like that could happen, whether it be NXT guys coming up for like a Survivor Series type thing, or Survivor Series round time. So yeah, it's certainly plausible.
Who would you have in the... Right now, what 4 versus 4 would you have? Let's say that nobody gets moved up to the main roster.
Which 4?
Which 4v4?
Oh, can I mix and match? Like, does it matter if the teams make sense or not?
No, it doesn't matter, because I've got a wee wrinkle in mine, which will make it a personal one.
I guess I would maybe go... Like, I wouldn't mind it if they just done Undisputed Era versus 4 guys. But if you want to kind of get, like, the best of the best from NXT, I'd probably go say Adam Cole, Dream, say Aleister Black and Gargano.
Right.
Versus... I'd need to go British Strong Style.
Mm-hmm. That's fair enough.
And Big Dave Mastiff.
Big Dave, Bomber Dave Mastiff.
Yep.
Okay, British Strong Style, right, and Danny Burch.
Mm-hmm.
So stick with me. Versus, let me think. Let's, for talking's sake, say that the NXT... No, it doesn't even have to be heels. Let's say Dream, Ricochet...
Oh, I forgot about Ricochet.
Gargano... No, Ciampa, sorry. And Oney Lorcan. So, Burch and Lorcan are still a tag team. They might even end up being tag team champions in the UK brand, but Gargano... Ciampa has got an emotional grip on Oney Lorcan, so Lorcan and Burch have to face off against each other, and it has some emotional resonance there.
Yeah, we also kind of forgot about Matt Riddle. And the only reason I never put Ciampa into it is because he was a champ, and I thought, do you know what, I'll keep you and you can have your own kind of match. But
Conor Reeves will be champion then.
Sorry?
Conor Reeves will be champion then.
Okay. Hold on a second. Sorry, on you go. So yeah, I can see that happening.
Right.
So is it my turn now?
It is your turn.
In 2019, Vincent Kennedy McMahon will be no more.
Oh my word. I have no words.
Sorry?
I have no words.
Right, well, let's just see if it comes true or not.
Okay.
Now, I'm not, like, some people might say that I'm implying he's going to die. No, I mean, no, he might just decide to hand the business over to his son-in-law and while he focuses on XFL.
Just think, see if Triple H didn't get his wicked way with Stephanie, it would have been Test that was in charge of NXT. I don't think it would have been the same, do you?
No, I don't think so. But that's my prediction for 2019.
Okay. My next one is, upon return, even if it's within the next few months, Braun Strowman will end 2019 still without a Universal or World or WWE title round his big, large waist. He will still not get a title. What do you think of the possibility of that?
Yeah, that's happening.
What, that he's not?
Yeah, I don't see him getting it.
I mean, there is the possibility that he's out for a long time, so that does increase the chances of my prediction. But he's not going to be around for WrestleMania season. They can't write him in successfully, although they've been doing a lot of unsuccessful writing of late. But the dynamic will have changed a lot since he's gone. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, like I say, it's if they've not pulled the trigger yet on him when there were so many great opportunities, what makes you think they're going to do it in 2019 when they missed out about 3, maybe 4 great opportunities to put a title on him, and they never did. So yeah, there'd be no reason to think why they would in 2019 or why they will anytime soon.
Okay.
Right, so my next one. Rusev will win the WWE Universal whatever kind of title in 2019.
There is more chance of Kenny Omega signing for World of Sport than there is Rusev becoming the champ. He's going for his US title again. His US title.
It fucking is his. The man had the greatest entrance in WrestleMania history until fucking Johnny Boots and Tights had to go ahead and bury him.
Johnny Shovel.
Fucking prick. Right, so you obviously didn't like that one.
You know my feelings on Rusev. They're no secret.
Know, you hate him.
I just don't see the fuss.
Wow. Right, your turn.
Oh, what was it? It's gone. Give me a minute.
Nope.
Okay. The Monday or Tuesday after WrestleMania, whoever is the mid-card champion will issue an open challenge, and Velveteen Dream will come out and challenge and win the mid-card title on whichever brand on the first night of his main roster.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Interesting. Don't think it happens. I feel like he still has some more mileage left in NXT. Bear in mind he's 22 or 23, so there's no real rush to bring him up.
There isn't.
Do you trust Vince with him?
Well, you just said that Vince McMahon will be no more, so it'll be Triple H.
Well, I mean, like I said, Vince could be no more on the 30th of December 2019, so you never know.
And the 31st will be a day of mourning.
Well, I mean, it might not have passed away.
See, when you say no more, that kind of implies a cessation of life.
I mean, like, it could no longer be with us, like, physically or anything, but he But it could also mean he may no longer be with the company. He may just focus on the XFL.
Imagine he was brought in to become the chairman of AEW.
But right. Yeah, I mean, let's say it's plausible, but again, it's one of those ones where it's more unlikely than it is likely. Let's say there's no rush to bring Dream up. Dream's still got a lot of things to do in NXT. But yeah, something like that could happen, you never know. Maybe not with Dream, maybe someone else.
Okay. Your turn.
I need to think of one now.
You said you had 10.
I know, it was a bit of an exaggeration. I had 5.
A bit. Should have really put more thought into this segment. But see, once
like I said, the initial agreement was 3.
It was.
So, I'm trying to see. I've said every single one. Right.
I've got one more.
Right, when you go. I'll think while you're saying yours.
NXT Germany will be up and running late next year.
What, like... Right, okay. Like how NXT UK is, you mean then?
Uh-huh.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, I think that's the next thing they're doing. One of the reasons why Volter was brought in as well. He's working out there. It's not exactly a performance centre, but their wrestling school in Germany. He's helping train up some guys. So I think you've got, what's his name? He was on NXT last week. Marcel something. A German guy. Volter's Ringkampf tag partner. I can't remember the guy's full name. He's there as well. You've got a few. Is Jazzy Gabbert? Is she German?
Not sure.
So if not up and running, it will be announced that NXT Germany is on the way.
Right, interesting. Okay, here we go. In 2019, we'll have a main roster pay-per-view in the UK.
B-show or Big Four?
Just a pay-per-view.
Well, do you know, it would actually make sense for it to be the UK because they're always at UK around Survivor Series time.
Yep.
So why don't they just stay in Manchester or London or wherever it is that they're filming Raw and SmackDown that week?
And they also come over post-WrestleMania as well.
And that could be a thing where instead of see, this is all working out. It's all working out to plan. You've got the NXT War Games match between the two brands, and it's in the UK. The same weekend as Survivor Series will be in the UK.
This is back to your NXT UK versus NXT plan.
NXT Takeover it will be called.
That just rolls right off the tongue, eh?
It'll be a picture of... Do you know how the Invasion pay-per-view had half of Vince's face and half of Shane's face? Well, this one will have half of William Regal's face and half of Johnny Saint's face. How does that make you feel?
Oh. Right, moving on. Your turn.
Okay, a couple more each.
Yep.
Right, let me think quickly. AJ Styles. Well, this doesn't make sense if it's a 2019 one. AJ Styles will only wrestle one more year for WWE.
Alright, so AJ Styles last year will be 2019.
Yeah, because his contract's up around this time of year. He's been working with an injury for a long time. He's been very open about wishing to spend more time with his family, although he loves it, as he said in the...
I'll go one further. AJ Styles will retire or leave WWE in 2019.
Right. Yep. I can kind of see it. As I said, we watched that. Have you seen the 365 documentary?
No, I've not.
He loves what he
I
does.
only saw little bits of it.
Mm-hmm. He loves what he does, but he's working round the clock. He's been carrying a partial hamstring tear since Money in the Bank. So maybe he won't want to wrestle as much anymore.
It could happen.
It'll be an AJ versus Vince retirement match.
One will no longer be there.
And it'll be a double count out, so they'll both go. Your turn.
Let me see. That was a bit too easy, I think.
It's alright. Go for it.
No, I was going to say there will be women's tag team titles in 2019, but I feel like that's a given.
The thought crossed my mind when you said that.
All the women will be moved to the one show.
Okay.
Doesn't matter which show.
Oh, do you mean either Raw or SmackDown? You don't mean their own show? Ah, right.
No, I don't mean like their own brand.
Well, they keep going on about these tag titles, and they've mentioned it on air now. With this brand split, does it make sense to have only the women going back and forth between brands?
No, I know. I mean, if they manage to somehow give the women their own show, that would be, next level, but...
I'm not meaning to say just the women, I just mean any division. Just, like, it's not... It's like saying, is it only going to be the cruiserweights that are going back and forth? It doesn't matter if it's women or men, it's just... Is that going to be viable going forward? So
I don't think so.
And it'll be called... Their show will be called NXT and Lassies. Right, my turn. The last one.
Yep.
As peculiar as this will sound now, Sanity will be tag team champions in 2019.
Nope. Nope.
I'm sorry to disappoint. It's happening.
You can come up with another one if you want.
What did you say there?
I said you can come up with another one if you want.
No, I'm sticking with that one.
Nah, that's not happening.
No, think about it though, because there will be a brand split. You've got a very good, fair chance of the Usos going over to Raw. There will be a manoeuvring of parts. It's a refresh season. Sanity could do with a whole refresh because their call-up has just not really been much of a call-up. So I'm sticking to my guns. In fact, I'll stick to my guns and say this will be the only one of my predictions that comes true.
I mean, none of your predictions are going to come true, but oh well.
What cheeky thing did you just say there?
Nothing.
What's your last one?
Oh, wait, I just thought you said that was the last one. Right.
You and then we'll quiz.
Right. In 2019, man, let me think. Alright, here we go. Brock Lesnar will hold the title for all of 2019.
Yep. Excuse me. Yep. I was going to predict that he'll still be the Universal Champion after WrestleMania.
Oh God, I could see it happening.
And we will do another podcast in 8 or 9 months' time saying the Brock Lesnar problem 2.0.
Yeah, we'll just re-release the one we've done a few months ago
and just splice in other wrestlers' names on top of it.
I know.
So, guys, that was some random predictions, some of them more credible than others. If you fancy telling us which one you think will come true, let us know. Hit us back at Ricky and Clive on Twitter and the Facebook. This is the month of December, in case you didn't know. Ricky, did you know this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I knew. So let's move on to quiz now.
Okay.
Go on, tell your joke.
I wasn't. I'm leaving in a bit of silence so I can splice in the theme tune.
What the fuck?
It's fucking quiz time with Ricky and Clive and friends. A fucking WWE quiz.
Right, so because of that, with it being December, it is a December in WWE history quiz, themed quiz. Right, 10 questions. Some of them have got multiple answers and stuff like that. So, number 1. What Raw closing segment in 1998 was controversial and earned them some strong criticism from the Catholic League, which is an organisation dedicated to fighting for Catholics against the defamation and discrimination of their religion? So that might seem...
sorry, what are you saying?
That might seem like a random question, but there are enough clues in the question itself.
What was the question again?
There was a closing segment of Raw in December 98. This segment earned them strong criticism from the Catholic League, who are against defamation of Catholicism in front of a widespread audience.
I don't even know if I remember, to be honest.
Would you like to?
Would I like what? Sorry.
Would you like to pass? Just hit out with something strange.
Yeah, I don't think I remember this at all, to be honest.
Okay, Undertaker crucified, quote unquote, crucified Steve Austin.
I thought it was something Undertaker related, but I didn't think it would be that.
I didn't realise that was as late in the year as it was. Number 2. What was the name of the 5th ever In Your House pay-per-view in December 95? The name of the show was a play on that time of the year, and the main event was Bret Hart versus British Bulldog. By the way, news broke earlier today of the death of Dynamite Kid, so thoughts are with his family. That was a sad one. Had a bit of a troubled life, but he was a master in the ring. Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
It was something like either winter or Christmas or seasons beatings or something along those lines.
You got it. Seasons beatings.
Thanks.
Do you have anything to add on? Oh my god.
I told you before we started, I'm starting to come down with something. I'm not feeling great.
Would you like to add your thoughts on Dynamite Kid at all before you sneeze again?
Yeah, it was tragic.
It was.
It was.
He had a tragic
it
life.
Seems to be another wrestler every other month.
Yeah. It was a tragic life he had, as well as a death.
Mm-hmm.
But made a name for himself in WWF, Stampede, Japan as well, so he's all over the place in the 80s, so that's not to be reckoned with, that kind of reputation. Number 3, at Armageddon, 1999, what happened at the end of an evening gown pool match for the WWF Women's title? So that's right, 1999, there was a women's title match and it was an evening gown pool match. They have come far in their journey.
An evening...
Will I give you a clue?
If you want.
The participants were Ivory, BB, Miss Kitty and Jacqueline.
I don't know which one, but one of them basically just got completely naked.
Well, not completely.
Well, flashed the crowd then.
Yes, some puppies were on show. It's hazard a guess who it was.
Was it not Kitty?
It was, correct. 2 points in the bag for Ricky. 1 year later, at the same named pay-per-view, who were the two opponents in a last man standing match?
The mayor.
The mayor and...
Some call this man the GOAT. He's not my GOAT. Jericho.
Correct answer. Number 5. Roadblock, end of the line. Who won the Cruiserweight title in the triple threat match that night, where after the match Neville came down, turned heel and killed everyone in sight after the match? Who was the champion in that night? Who became... Look, it doesn't have to be a title change, or it could have been just a retention. Who was the champion?
Can you repeat that question?
I know.
Neville what? Sorry?
So, someone either won the Cruiserweight Championship or retained it in a triple threat match. Then after the match, Neville came down, congratulated the person, but...
Rich Swann.
Rich Swann, correct answer. Ricky Swann himself. Apologies about this coughing, ladies and gentlemen. Very unprofessional. In 2014, the last draw of December, who did Seth Rollins threaten to curb stomp onto his Money in the Bank briefcase, forcing John Cena to reinstate the authority?
Oh my God, who was it? Oh my goodness. I can't remember now. I don't know.
It wasn't even 4 years ago yet.
I know. No, I can't think.
Would you like a clue?
Yeah.
At the time, this person was not a active wrestler.
At the time was not an active wrestler.
They're still not active.
I don't remember that at all now.
The answer is Edge.
Oh, for fuck's sake, so it was.
You're doing well. You've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 correct out of 6. Armageddon again, 2006. What gory injury took place in a 4-way tag team ladder match? Armageddon 2006.
Now, was it at this event that happened? Was it not the one where Mercury got hit with a ladder and like basically his face fell off?
His face collapsed. His face imploded and exploded at the same time. That is the very one.
That was horrible.
Oh, it was. Number 8. Who became the WWE champion for the first time when they defeated John Cena at TLC 2009?
Ooh. A Celtic Warrior.
Sheamus.
Shamu.
Number 9, correct. What infamous brawl segment, still talked about to this day, cost WWE in excess of $10,000 in damages that had to be paid back to the premises in question? Real life. So there was an infamous brawl segment. People still talk about it to this day, and the damages that occurred resulted in fees of $10,000 plus.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Right. Do you want a clue?
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it not too easy. Clean up on aisle 5.
Was that thingy? What's her name? Austin and Booker T when they were in the shop or supermarket or whatever it was.
That's correct.
I didn't know that. 10,000.
I know, I only read that today. Number 10. Name all 6 participants in 2006's ECW show December to December's Elimination Chamber match. So this, according to some, has went down as the worst pay-per-view in WWE's history. The main event, Elimination Chamber match. Name the participants.
Show.
Okay.
Lashley.
Uh-huh.
Punk.
Yep.
Hardcore Holly.
Oh yes, well done.
RVD.
One more.
And the man who should be running NXT.
Oh, what an alternative universe that would be. Test running the promotion, the development. Well done, you get 8 out of 10 there tonight.
Thanks.
Very impressed. Colour me impressed.
Thanks.
Anything you want to say before we call it quits for the evening?
Nah.
What a bundle of joy you are.
I'm coming down with something. I'm not feeling great. I hate wrestling. I'm just, I'm emotional.
Okay.
No, I don't hate wrestling. I'm just sort of burnt out with it.
Uh-huh.
Burnt out with life in general at the moment.
Burnt out with life. Fuck Christmas. Fuck wrestling. Fuck some fans.
Just send some positive and good vibes towards Ricky.
Leave me out if you want, for the sounds of things.
Well, I mean, if you want people to send you positive vibes, then by all means, let them know.
No, I want people to send me some money instead.
Don't send him any money.
Be sure, ladies and gentlemen, to check out the rest of the shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. There's actually been quite a lot of good content over the last 7 days or so. Grown Men Watch This Shit had Underground Wrestling's Adam Bruiser, I think that's his name, on their show. And they also discussed the infamous death match that wee Davey Arquette had a pretty gruesome injury from. Outsider's Edge looked in depth at what has been coined as the worst episode of Raw ever. Even Mr. Raycash himself, who's usually able to put a positive spin on things, took last Monday night's Raw to task. What else? One Nation Radio had their first of a few end of year specials. They've looked back at 2018's fucking shit hot years of NXT takeovers. And the chaps over at Keepin It Strong Style, they've had a very busy week. 1 year birthday anniversaries, bonus episodes going in depth about...
Happy birthday, Josh and Jeremy.
Happy birthday, gents. They're going in depth. They've got their second annual end of year New Japan Awards. So they had a bonus pod going over all the categories and the entrants. So if you want to enter that, please check out at KI Strong Style on Twitter. They've got the information. It's also probably in the show notes of their podcast for details on how you can submit that form. If you have been digging the content of late, please rate and review the Social Suplex Podcast Network on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you listen to your pods. All these ratings and reviews are noticed by the algorithm fairies, get us higher in the charts, reach a wider audience and all that jazz, so your feedback is appreciated. Socialsuplex.com has a link to these podcasts that I've been talking about, as well as their columns, and the ability to subscribe at the touch of a button, delivering all this content straight to your email inbox. We are at Ricky and Clive on Twitter and Facebook. We are Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Instagram. I've decided I'm going to try my hand at this Instagram story. Apparently it's good for reaching a wider audience. Not got a fucking clue how it works, but we'll get there eventually. Fuck Instagram. The Wrestling Squared Circle Facebook group is the home of our online community, so check that out as well. The link is in the show notes again for that one. And to top it all off, I've got some breaking news for you, Ricky. See, this is a place... None of your PW stream nonsense. This is the place...
That we need to unfollow them, because that is the worst fucking wrestling quote-unquote website there is. Oh my fucking god. Folks, this may happen. What did they tweet out the other day? Something about how Becky Lynch may lose the title or something, and you replied saying, it's winter so we may need our scarves or something.
Becky Lynch may drop the title before as part of Mania plans.
I thought What Culture was bad, but PW Stream is fucking awful. Awful.
buddy.
Oh no, fuck them. What a terrible website.
I mean, it's just, as Meltzer says, basically. It's just putting... There was another one that was basically pointing out facts, basically saying the plan was to have Elias become the Intercontinental Champion. How do you know? How do you know what may have happened? It's like, give us a break. Said to, I think it's Tom, I'm going to bastardise his surname, sorry, Tom Calhoun perhaps. He just said, this is fucking terrible reporting. And it gives
it's not even reporting, because that would actually imply that they're actually capable in doing something well when they're not.
Oh, Jesus, Ricky. Taking them to task. Oh, I agree.
No wonder. Like, come on. I'm going to just start spouting that shite, even though I spout it on a weekly basis on this, but absolute nonsense of a joke of a website. Anyway, let's move on.
Well, for some real breaking news.
Here we go. This is a place to be, folks.
Yes, well... Chavo Guerrero. By the way, did you know that Carlito Cool was on Edge and Christian's show this week?
I heard.
It's quite good seeing him back. Anyway, Chavo Guerrero was helping out at promo class at the Performance Centre recently. Just sort of doing a wee... what's the word? Lecture, yeah, on stuff like that. And in the middle of one of his speeches, Ronda Rousey came in with a UPS box and just grabbed Chavo Guerrero and started making out with him with the intention of doing more. So Chavo said, hey...
Okay.
So Chavo said, hey Ronda, what the hell are you doing? It's like, well, I must have got the wrong end of the stick. Vince McMahon told me to write... Oh, shit.
Oh, you fucked it.
Vince McMahon told me to do an essay on delivery.
Oh, he's messed up.
I haven't. You just don't get it. It must do a shite then.
Yeah, I do get it with a big long pause. Yeah. Oh. You get any more?
Do you know there was actually a site earlier today that I looked up? Because I'll be honest, guys, I have reached the bottom of the well.
Oh, really? You reached the bottom of the well a long time ago, my friend.
Well, fuck you too, pal. Where is it? I'll do a couple more. These aren't mine. I can't take credit for these ones, right? But I quite like that, right? And do an essay on delivery. This one was, let me see, what did Hulk Hogan ask in arts and craft class? What's you gonna glue, brother?
Okay. I thought he'd have said something like, I don't like blacks or something like that, you know, because he's a racist bastard.
Yeah, it's that. Why is unemployment so high in the US? Because Nunzio and Funaki do all the jobs. Some of these are shite compared to mine.
Let's hear one of the bad ones. Not saying any of those ones are good, but...
What did CM Punk tell Adam Copeland when Copeland made a pass at him?
I don't know.
I'm straight edge.
No, you're a wanker. That's what you are.
This is good. Why was Ultimate Warrior fired from the pet shop? Because he couldn't sell pedigree. And last one.
Homophobe.
Yep. Where is it?
Right, last one.
I know.
Send us home on a good note.
What did little John Cena say to his primary school teacher when she gave him his report card?
Go on.
You can't see me.
I wish that was true for the last 15 years, John.
Yep. Apart from 2015.
Yeah, you had a good year in 2015. You did.
Just like someone who owns a tyre, he had a good year. Night night, gentlemen and ladies.
Yep. Take care, folks.
Thank you for listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.